Evening everyone, I hope you're all doing well. It's time for another channel update, so I can let you know what I'm working on, what's coming out, what the videos are that's going to be coming out, and what to expect over the next few weeks. So if you've been following the channel, you'll know that the last few weeks we've had the Crusade battle report. That was loads of fun to do, and I'm working with Robin to basically come up with one that we can do again. And then of course we had the big Wars of the Roses game with Robin and Miller. And that was the finale to our little mini campaign. Now the battle report, I'm still editing it in a minute, but there's a couple of pictures on the screen now, so you can have a little tease. It was a real nail biter. It was a lot of fun. As I said in my Warwick video, which came out last week, I am going to be taking a pause on building new Wars of the Roses miniatures. That doesn't mean I'm stopping on Wars of the Roses content. Essentially, I want to carry on having more games. I'm going to be working on some other bits and bobs, and then I'm going to come back and I'm probably going to be working on some Lancastrians, or certainly some of the other families that weren't necessarily aligned with the Yorkists or with the Nevilles. So I might pick a more unknown family and try and work on them for a little while. But I'll come back to the Wars of the Roses in a moment. I've been very, very busy with work. I mean, when are we not these days? However, this month mainly seems to have been taken up with rules. I seem to have bought a lot of rules and worked on a lot of rules. So I thought I'd just show you what I'm looking at, what I've bought, and yeah, where all these things are going. And one of the things that I've picked up, which I'm really excited to have a look at, and I'm not going to be doing a review or anything, is this, and that's Soldiers of Napoleon. I'm just really looking forward to having a go at this. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to just flip the camera around, show you the different bits and bobs that I've been working on, and we'll go from there. Okay, so here we have Soldiers of Napoleon by Warwick Kinraid. Now, I know this has already been looked at on a few other channels, so I'm not going to do a flip through or an unboxing or anything like that. Or when I say I'm not going to do a flip through, I'll probably still open the book. But essentially, I really wanted to get into another Napoleonic game. Now, Warwick came and was demoing this at the CrackCon that we held in May, and while I didn't get to play it, I did get to watch some of it, and it looked like great fun and just about the right scale that I wanted to do. Now I know Robin, who I play the Wars of the Roses games with, is very keen to have a game, but I also think this is the kind of game that I'm going to be able to take to a club or take to a games evening and teach people how to play, because it looks like great fun. The mechanics are card driven like the other sort of soldiers games in the same vein, and yeah, to me it looks very good. Now I will try and do a battle report with this. I'm just trying to figure out the format and how that's going to work. I'll probably have a couple of games first before I actually try, but yeah, this is something really looking forward to having a game of. Some very unique mechanics, which I like, and yeah, just a very, very nice rule set put out by Artorias Games with Gripping Beast, and just looks like a great deal of fun. So something to definitely try out, which we'll be seeing on the future in the channel. Speaking about other books that I've bought, well, I say that I've bought, but this book here, now Robin bought this for me as a present, and this is awesome. Now, I'm not going to lie, I have not read every single part of this beast. It's over 500 pages long, but this book gives you a great ideas and systems for running campaigns in your war games, like it says on the front. And these go from everything that's very, very basic campaigns through to things where you're actually handling logistics, air power, you know, using campaign maps. And do you know what? If you're looking for a good read or you're looking for a campaign system, this is probably a good place to start. It's all lovely, subdivided, into all of the different areas that you could want. There's even chapters to handle things like logistics, or just using current like OS maps or Google Earth as well, about how to, you know, just get the most out of your campaign. That being said, even if you're not interested in running a campaign, this is a lovely book to have in your collection. So yeah, cheers Robin, thanks for that. It's given me lots of ideas for my campaign system. Now, I've been getting a lot of emails about the campaign system, because I know about a year ago I put a video up and it kind of dried up after that. That's not because I lost my sort of mojo or anything, but it developed into something else. Now those campaign rules are going to be available probably within the month, but I'll probably have to say, actually, do you know what, 2 months, just to make sure. And again, a bit like the other things that I've done, I'm going to put them up and they'll be shareable. Speaking of which, the main thing that I've been working on finalizing over the last couple of weeks is the update to the Hail Caesar Wars of the Roses adaptation, the ones that we use for our Wars of the Roses games. So yeah, let me have a look at that. Okay, so yep, here it is. Now, those of you've probably seen this before. However, this is the new version. So what I've done is I've done an update. Now, I released the original one about a year ago. Of course, this is absolutely in no way official. These are just house rules. These are just for fun. These are the ones that we do, and I thought that they would be fun to share, and people can have a look at how we do them and change them and give feedback and let me know maybe any ideas, whatever. So these are going to become shareable when the battle report goes out in the next week or so. However, if you're a channel member, you can have a peek at these early and just give a little bit of feedback, and also just notice if I've done any typos or anything like that. I'm sure there are any, so be sure to check the community posts if you're a channel member, and yeah, you can have a look. But essentially, on the front here, I've added in all the changes. We've got a whole new set of lords that I've added in, such as William Herbert, James Butler, the Earl of Shrewsbury, and I've also added a new profile for the Earl of March, Edward, as he would be at Mortimer's Cross. I've amended a couple of the rules that we'd already put in just because I felt they were too powerful or they didn't really fit that person. And we've also added some more units, so standard units of crossbows and Irish Kern, and we've also clarified some of the changes that we used in our games as well for black powder weapons. So it's still set out in exactly the same way as before, with the sort of stats set out as in Hail Caesar, so you can use those. A couple of notes on commanders and how to use them, and then we have the listings of the various lords and the special abilities or rules that we've given them. Nothing particularly game breaking, but just things that we thought suited their character. And now there are over 30, I think there's 32 separate lords. Now a couple of them are in both the Lancastrian and the Yorkist camps, but we have new ones in here such as William Herbert and Walter Devereux, Henry Boucher, John Tiptoft. John Tiptoft is one I'm quite not proud of. Well, I suppose I am proud of in a way, is he's a sort of a non-combat commander. He can't go into combat or command anyone, but he's effectively almost like a support unit. I thought that might be quite fun on the battlefield, so he's got a longer set of rules. And then we have a separate profile here for Edward Plantagenet as Earl of March before he becomes king. And then with the Lancastrians as well, I've gone in and I've made some changes to some of their profiles. I've actually managed to give Owen Tudor some rules this time. Of course, we have Warwick in here, and Warwick's had some updates as well and some changes. And then we've got people like James Butler, the Earl of Ormond, James Touchet, the Baron Audley. I've gone through and just clarified and changed a couple of points in here, so such as the rules for things like blown horses and the mounted bowmen. Clarified what we do with the cannons, bombards and rebuilder queen, and how the reload markers work. And I've also sort of, again, we've added this thing about isolated artillery, because there's quite a few games now that we've had where the cannons have just been left on their own and they've got surrounded by enemies. So we've essentially just said, look, if there are more enemy units closer to an artillery piece than there are friendly units, then the artillery, the crew flee. A little bit like the way transports work in bolt action. And then we've also added some rules down here for capture commanders. So there we go. So that is now going up onto Google Drive, and that will be available when the battle report goes out, because in that battle report we are using this update. So keep your eyes peeled for that. As always, if you guys are interested in this, then give me, let us know, give me some feedback. I'm happy to listen to things, or if you guys have got any ideas. The original one, the first version I sent out had over 500 downloads. So that's awesome. I wasn't quite expecting that. I was expecting maybe about a dozen, and then a load of emails saying, well, I got things wrong. But to have over 500 downloads is awesome, and I'm glad it's of use to some people. What I'm going to have to remember to do is go back to the old battle reports and change the link in the description to this version of it, so the other version isn't still floating around as well. But I will leave that up so that people can access the older one if they want. However, I need to talk about the campaign system and what I've been working on, and what that's kind of evolved into. Okay, so first of all, as I've already said, those campaign rules are going to be available in the next few weeks, and that's for that simple campaign system that I previewed about a year ago. It's a nodal campaign system, and it's just a way of linking games together in a really, really simple to follow and easy to manage way. Part of my hope is that once we have finished this current Wars of the Roses campaign, I'm not going to tell you how it ends, but the next one, I'm hoping we're actually going to use the nodal system, and I'm going to be able to showcase how it works with, I'm hoping, maybe even 5 to 6 players. So you're going to see a lot of different armies moving around the maps. Not every battle will be shown. There might be, reports and campaign reports about what's going on, and a few battles will be shown, just so you can get an idea of the flavour, and that'll be out as well. However, when I was working on these Hail Caesar rules changes and taking everything and just changing war games, I started to get a bit of a bug for it. And then with writing the campaign system for us to use as well, I got even more into it. And things have developed somewhat to the point where I thought, why not just have a go at writing my own system of rules and a mechanic, and just see what happens. So I'm not going to go into the details about it, but essentially what I've been working on quite a lot is a system of rules. I don't know how much you guys are going to see, but we've got quite a few pages of rules and notes and ideas for a mass battle game, which stretches from what I would call a skirmish, which is essentially 5 to 6 units aside, to something which can be a much larger battle where you have something like 20 to 25 units aside. Now, what I'm focusing on is what I love, which is the late medieval period, in particular the Wars of the Roses, but I'm working quite hard at the moment on getting the system down and the mechanics down. I've play tested a couple of games with a couple of friends, but I've also play tested quite a lot over the last year solo, and I'm ready to start taking it out and sort of going to a couple of groups or to people and just like basically showing it to them, seeing what they think, running them through a few games, and just seeing if there's any feel for it. People might come back and say this is crap, what you're doing, but hey, at least I tried, I had a go. Where this is going, I'm not entirely sure. Worst case, who knows? There'll be a download with some rules that I've written for people to have a go at. But it keeps me out of trouble, and I'm enjoying doing it. And I think what I've got is actually a lot of fun, and balances a little bit between that need for historical accuracy and simulation, but also the joy of rolling dice and obliterating your enemy as well. So there will be updates in the future on that, but don't expect them sort of anytime soon. They're not going to be regular, but I'll let you guys know as and when things are coming across. So yes, black folder. But I have, as you'll see in this photo, I have roped Robin into playtesting a couple of things already after we've had our games, because we've already got all the scenery set up. So that's been a lot of fun. I must say, thank you to everybody who signed up for the channel membership. I wasn't expecting that many people to sign up, so thank you very much. It's greatly appreciated. If you are interested in the channel membership stuff, it's down below. There's only one level, and there's a list down there of the perks and the badges and all that kind of stuff you can get. And like I say, there'll be a few things that go up on there a little bit earlier, like little sneak peeks of any of the PDFs or the rules or things I'm putting out, or even just some behind the scenes stuff. But all of that stuff eventually will be made public. I'm not going to hide any of that. So yeah, anyway, let's have a look at some of the models. Now, I don't actually have that many finished models to show you because it's been, as I say, it's been quite big on rules and writing and just getting some of those things done. So I'll show you what I have done, which is basically all half finished. Okay, so what have I been working on? Well, off the back of the last Crusades game, I realised that I needed another Seljuk commander for my cavalry, a separate one. So I got this chap from Reconquer Designs, printed by Grey Green Customs, and this is going to be the standard bearer to go with my my commander for my mounted forces. I'm about halfway done on him at the moment. Basically I've got to work on the horse. The actual chap himself is pretty much done. I've just got to do some highlights on the flesh and then paint that banner pole, and he's pretty much there. But yeah, a lot of fun. I mean, these are lovely sculpts and lovely designs. I'm not going to keep on banging on about them because you guys know I like them. So he'll be going on a nice sandy base, and the commander that I'm using is this chap here. Which I thought was actually quite a nice pose. I like the idea of this guy sitting back and watching as the light cavalry surge forward. I really enjoyed our Crusades game, so I'm going to be sort of pushing that quite a bit so we can have some more games, because even though it was a small game, I thought it had a lot of flavour. I just loved having all that different type of scenery out. So these two will be on a base and then coming to a battle report near you sometime very soon. Okay, the Zulus are still well underway. I've got a big batch here that I'm about halfway done. They've had all the base coats done and the shading. I've just got to hit them with some matte varnish and then do the highlights. And then this is 2 more bases worth of Zulus. That project is going great. I'm really enjoying everything that I'm working on there. I'll be doing a much more comprehensive, just full update on the Zulu stuff. But just so you know, well underway, and yep, this is how I do them. I just have lots of lollipop sticks, which I steal save from the bin rather, before my kids put their lollipops in the bin, and we line them up on here and then get them all painted. So yep, plenty of these to come, and then I think I've still got a box and a half of them to do. So yes, there will be, once I finish these guys, I'll update on that project, because I've got some very cool stuff. I've been sent some lovely gifts by people to include in there. Some great, well, I say gifts, like little characters to add in that people didn't want or wanted me to use, and that's been amazing. So I want to show those off, and those will all be in their own individual video. But I have finished a few models for 0 to 100 hours. Okay, so here we are. So I have finished some of the characters from the Guards of Facility 9 set. So here's the scientist, the German scientist. I mean, I had to just basically make him look, I don't really know what to say, like a scientist. So lots of fun to paint, and I'm looking forward to having a game with them. These guys I'm going to use in the demo games I'm running at CrackCon in a couple of weeks' time, or a week's time. Here's the wounded officer. There's a lot of character in these models. I mean, obviously these are sort of taken from Hello, I think. So here's a Gestapo officer. And then finally, the German general. Now, so I'm not an expert on German uniforms or anything, so I just try to make them look as much like a German general as makes sense to me. So, yeah, these are a lot of fun to paint, but I think these might actually be... Oh, no, of course I did. I finished Warwick, but I'm not going to show him. Well, actually, hang on a second. Yep, there he is. I know he had a completely separate video, but I feel like he deserves to come out a little bit more. I've been going on about him for long enough. So yes, of course, I did finish this, which is probably the main thing I finished in the last couple of weeks. But yeah, he'll be coming to a battle report near you, I'm hoping, next week. So keep your eyes peeled for that. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for just sticking around for this update. I wanted to just let you know what was going on the channel and where we are. So the next video to come out after this should be the Wars of the Roses battle report for our sort of final pitch battle, and after that it's probably going to be the Seljuk painting video, which is quite cool. I'm looking forward to getting that out there, and then after that I've got a couple of English Civil War history videos, and yeah, just some general project updates to do with the Anglo-Zulu War and the Crusades as well. So anyway, thank you very much for checking the video out. As always, if you got any questions or anything, just just drop them down below, and I will see you guys all again soon. Take care of yourselves, and yeah, until next time.